Welcome to Kern 9000's Horror House.
Cannibal Ferox, also known as Make Them Die Slowly and Woman from Deep River, was written and directed by Umberto Lenzi. Upon its initial release, it was claimed that it was the most violent movie ever made. It contains scenes of eye gouging, torture, animal cruelty, castration, and of course cannibalism. It should be noted that, like Cannibal Holocaust, this movie features several actual cases of animals being killed on screen. I have to admit that when I first watched this, it was a downloaded copy. Recently I've gotten an actual DVD of it, one of the Vipco vaults of horror releases, which, despite bragging about how it was previously banned in 31 countries and claims it to be the most violent film ever made, actually is not the full film. The original cut of the film was 93 minutes. The feature movie on this Vipco version is only 83 minutes, so it's lacking an entire 10 minutes. I point this out merely to say that if you're looking for this film, you might want to do a little research to find out if you're paying for the full thing or a cut down version. I have watched the full version online though. The plot of this film can quickly be described as being about a small group of anthropologists who take a trip to the jungles of Colombia to try to disprove the existence of cannibalism. Once there, they find drug dealers who've been using the natives to harvest cocoa leaves. The natives grow tired of being tortured slaves, and as a result of this decide to turn their anger on the dealers and the anthropologists. The opinions most often voiced in regards of Cannibal Ferox seem to fall into one or two camps. There are those who feel that the film is sick and that it was justifiably banned. Sometimes this is due to the actual murder of animals, and other times just because of its depraved and gory nature. Again, there will be those who just simply enjoy violent films. No one really seems to try and argue that this movie contains any kind of deep or meaningful message. I guess it's my turn to give my actual opinion on the film. Well, I think it should be clear by this point that I'm quite anti-censorship. I believe that adults should be able to decide what they want to watch and what they can and cannot cope with seeing. There are limits to this. For example, you shouldn't be able to see actual murder on film or any other actions which violates a living person's rights. I also disagree with the idea of killing animals for the purpose of making a film. If you can simulate the death of people using effects, then you can either simulate the death of animals or merely offer up enough to suggest that this has happened. It's not like seeing a turtle's head shatter or a goat getting its throat slit is going to make or break a movie. I have to admit that I walk into a lot of the DPP72 movies with very low expectations. It's not that I believe that something good can't come out of a low-budget environment. In fact, I often think that good ideas can be destroyed by having too much money thrown at them. It's simply the fact that I think in a lot of cases, a lot of the people making these films didn't have that solid of an idea in the first place. They just simply wanted to draw people in with the promise of blood and guts. I was kind of shocked to find that Cannibal Ferox is better than I thought it would be. The storyline, acting and production values were far beyond what I expected of them, especially given the fact that it was one of those multilingual sort of productions where there are various language barriers getting in the way of things. There's a bit of a mix when it comes to the performances provided by the actors and actresses. Lorraine Dessal delivers a very serious performance, trying to give it her all and act as if she is in real situations, while in comparison, Giovanni Lombardi Radis basically overacts to an almost camp degree, but overall all of it seems to fit together well. The gore is not quite as heavy as you might expect for a film that was banned, but what there is was used very effectively. Yes, there is the castration scene that people might have mentioned when talking about this film, but it's handled rather quickly really. There are far more slow-paced gruesome things in other films, and indeed there are a few in this film. I despise the animal cruelty, but I have to begrudgingly admit that some of it really isn't as awful as people have made out. Bits of it are on the level of the Discovery Channel documentary footage, the sort where animals chase, attack and kill each other, which is as disturbing as it can be at times. I think you kind of need to stop and remember that, well, that's just the way the animal kingdom works in real life. You could make the argument that showing it for entertainment purposes is wrong, but then documentaries, as much as people might argue are for aiding in the pursuit of knowledge, are also a form of entertainment, are they not? Personally, I'd edit the bits where people actively kill animals out of the film, but I don't think they have any part in this film or any other film for that matter. That's just, that's the way I am. You might call me naive as I eat meat and animals die for this to happen. But That's just the way I feel. And if I had to rate this film, and bear in mind I'm ignoring any of my biases about animals here, I'd give this film a 7 out of 10. It's not the most entertaining thing in the world, but it's a decently well-made film. Okay, that's Kerr 9000 signing off saying, keep on screaming, boys and ghouls.